today's session is about preparation for technology careers of tomorrow. And we have an eminent personality who is joining with us to talk about this. It's my honor and privilege to introduce you, Mr. Abhishek R Patil, for today's session. Welcome, sir.
Glad to be here.
Mr. Abhishek R Patil is the founder and CEO of Zcientia Labs, SkillNet. He also holds a master's degree in innovation management and entrepreneurship from the University of Manchester, UK. He has worked in the sales, marketing, operations and business development functions at Mercedes-Benz, India and Mitsubishi Fuso, Japan. In his professional life, he has optimized the business processes with the latest technologies such as big data, business intelligence and workflow automation tools, and also worked on emerging technology projects such as electric vehicles, vehicle telematics, 3D printing, etc. After having traveled to 20 countries and working in multiple MNCs, he returned to India in 2018 to solve the problem of unemployability in India. His current goal is to help young students prepare for the jobs of the future and create the largest community of skilled people for the progress of India. So that's all about him. I request you, sir, to take over the session.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for the opportunity to present and interact with all the students here. I guess it's all engineering students, and most of them are fresh graduates, right? Like who are graduating in the coming 2 years. I think it's very much essential what the Christ College is organizing, because there is a big gap in the market of what students know about what is a professional life and what is needed for them to become a professional. So I hope this webinar will be very fruitful for your team and all the young students who are there who want to build the emerging tech careers in the future. So I'll be starting off with the presentation now. So please let me know once you can see my screen. Yeah.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. Okay, so I'll be starting off now. So technology has impacted us in every way possible. Okay, we are having this webinar right now only because we are using technology, right? So it's very essential that we need to adapt technology to actually upskill ourselves and build a career. And for that, first, we need to understand what are the skills needed to adapt these latest technologies. So here in this webinar, you will know what is the impact of technology on industries and what are the new opportunities that are there for you and how can you plan your career to get new opportunities. And in the end, you'll have a question and answer session where you can ask whatever questions you have. Actually, throughout the webinar, whenever I'm presenting some slides, just make sure that you comment your questions on the checkbox or something like that. So at the end of the webinar, I'll be taking these questions so that you don't miss out on your answers. Okay, and in the end, we will tell you how we can help you in planning your career. Okay. So guys, to start off with, I'm Abhishek Patil, and I'm here to tell you that you can make your life the way you want it to be. How is that? If I look back into my career only, okay, I'm a mechanical engineer by degree and I've done product design. Okay, I loved designing. I used to work on CATIA, CAD and all that. And I built a lot of designs and I was a winner in the national level design competition in my college. Okay, I won second place in that. And after that, since I knew innovation is the key to growth, I was focusing mainly on innovating. And then I went to Manchester Business School to learn innovation management and entrepreneurship, where I got even an experience as, working as a cashier, bartender and all that. I learned different tools they are using to automate their processes. Then even when I went to Japan, I was working on operations, sales, business development. And right now I'm acting as a part-time consultant. And as your coordinator has already introduced, I'm trying to solve the problem of unemployability in India. because right now there are a lot of new technologies that are taking over the world, but people are not there who can use this technology, leverage this technology to actually build their career. So there is a big mismatch of skills needed in the market. So that is what I'm trying to do with Skill at Will. And finally, I mean, networking and exploring life is something which I love. Okay, and I'm a tech enthusiast, so I keep learning about technology all the time. And my hobbies are like traveling and dancing. So this is about me. And the reason I'm telling you this is, as a student, you need to get exposure to all kinds of areas. Only then you will know what is your passion, what you are good at, what you should learn. Okay, so this is something which is very much essential for students, that is to explore life, explore opportunities, learn different things. So this is what I'm here to give you as a message from my side. So in this program, I want to clear a few misconceptions which most students have. Okay, I will get a job because I'm an engineer by degree. Do you think that I don't have good marks or grades, I won't be good at job? I mean, I won't get a good job. Do you think that I have a civil, biotech, mechanical degree and I cannot enter IT field? Some people might be thinking that. I mean, since most of you are from EC and computer science, you might be thinking, okay, I am in computer science, I cannot get a job outside computer science or IT. So that might also be your question. And some of you, the live streaming, if it is happening, there might be some experienced graduates. So if you have the background, only then you can become get into tech. That's something which people think. Okay, so these are the misconceptions a lot of people have, and I'm here to give answers to those questions. Okay, so before we get there, let me get into the reality check. So COVID has impacted us a lot. I mean, last 6 months we were all at home. Okay, and when we were at home, there were a lot of businesses going down. Okay, there were job losses happening. Industries went down completely. The airline, transport sector, everything went down completely. And then if you see on the other side, there are certain new businesses which were emerging, like video conferencing tool businesses. Yeah, and if you see, hospitality sector went down completely. But entertainment, these businesses like gaming businesses went up. People started gaming more and more, right? So this is the things which is happening in the market right now. And people who are actually having these emerging tech skills, these are the guys who are actually even getting a pay hike in this lockdown and in all this gray zone we have right now. So what you need to know here is, if you have the right skills, you don't have to worry. Always get to know what is the next tech trend, learn those skills and ride the wave. That is how the industry works right now. So irrespective of what is happening, if you have the latest skills, you will definitely get a great job. You will have a long-term career. So next up, impact of technologies on industries, right? So if you see this graph, there is a timeline from 14th century till 2050, right? In 14th century was the first invention of printing press, okay? And 1600, the first telescope was invented, right? So it took 200 years for such a minute, actually, technological change, okay? And then if you see, 1750, steam engine was invented. So the growth of technology was very slow in the past. But now if you see, 2000 to 2050, we have had so many new technologies which are coming in. Okay, microprocessor was discovered in early 2000s, and first 3D chip is already invented, and it is not even 2020. I mean, it just is 2020 right now. And the scale at which things are growing, right, it's radical. So you guys have to know, okay, what kind of technologies are coming up well in advance, so that actually you can prepare for those new jobs which are coming up in the market. So every time a technological revolution happens or an industrial revolution happens, okay, a lot of old jobs are lost. But on the other hand, a lot of new jobs are coming up. So if you see, there is some people might have heard of industrial revolution, right? Industrial revolution, like there's 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0. So the first industrial revolution started off with the invention of steam engine and all that. So before, people used to weave cloths, okay, like one by one, like khadi, how we used to do in the past. But invention of steam engine triggered mechanization and large scale, industries on clothing. Okay, so that made a lot of weavers those jobs, but clothes became more affordable. Okay, and people were started experimenting with the clothes, and that industry boomed. Okay, so weavers lost jobs, but people who could work with those machines got jobs. If you see the next wave, Industry 2.0, which is mass production, assembly line, and electrical energy. So these three major technological changes. This was like firstly because of Toyota production system and Ford. These guys actually started the mass production. This made horse carriages. Before we had cars, people would go in bullock carts and horse carts, right? So those guys were needed. The riding skills was needed for getting a job. You would get money to transport one person from one area to another area. So when cars became cheap because of mass production, right? Horse carriages, the people who rose to ride it lost their jobs. Right, and then new skills were required. People had to learn driving. Okay, and since people were able to move from place to place, okay, the roads and construction sector rose. Okay, people started traveling kilometers, like 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers for the job. So new kinds of industries started emerging. Okay, so this is how new technological changes give rise to new jobs. Again, if you see the Industry 3.0, this is where the computer came into our lives. Okay, we are using, we started with desktop computers, and if you see, this is where it radically changed everything. So all the major companies right now are riding on this wave. Okay, you have Amazon, Google, SAP, all these big companies are all IT, right? Right now, if you see any company you go for, it is IT. Why? Because this IT or technology has the power to impact every industry possible. Okay, and it will bring in transparency, quality, and also it will automate a lot of stuff, reducing costs for the businesses. So this is where automation and computers are going to radically change the world. And now coming to the fourth industrial revolution, which is cyber physical systems, Internet of Things, and networks. So until 5 to 10 years back, we just had our desktops connected to the internet through cables, right? So now is it the same? No, we are using our phones. Okay, it is always connected to the net, and if I guess half of you will be using your phones to actually be attending this webinar, right? So that is the first phase. The second phase, now we will be connecting our watches, okay, to our cloud computers. Like cloud computing will take over, and all the physical electronic devices will be connected to the cloud, which forms the Internet of Things technology. Okay, so there are smart glasses, smart watches, smart shoes, smart belts. Okay, even home, smart appliances, TVs, everything can be connected. And if you see the next set, smart factories are coming up, smart homes are coming up, and even smart hospitals. So this is where the technology is going in the future. And if we are not adapting to this technology, and if we don't learn the new skills that are required, then we will fall behind. So this is the major gap which is there in the industry, and that is what we need to understand to actually bridge that gap. So the new skills which are required for Industry 4.0, that is what we will be discussing in the coming slides. So how is the world changing now? If you see, we are no longer reading on newspapers or magazines, right? We all read on our phone, on our laptop. We have blogs to read. We have news to read, everything. Okay, the business model is changing completely for the people who produce news. Okay, online video, again, everything is happening online. Social media, so we are interacting with our friends on WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram. So everything is happening online. How many of you guys are actually calling other people these days? Just think about it, right? So coming to e-commerce, at least in the bigger cities right now, when the pandemic hit, like ordering meat, ordering vegetables, fruits, grocery, Okay, anything and everything you can think of, we are ordering online. Okay, home delivery is the next thing. Okay, so e-commerce is happening online. Online music, again, no longer we need cassettes, CDs and all that. I think most of you might have not even heard of cassettes and CDs in this webinar. Yeah, but we used to use physical cassettes in the past. Okay, and gaming, again, like still we are playing in PlayStations and all that, but most of us, what we do, we just have games downloaded on our phone and we start playing with that anytime and anywhere. So this is how the world is changing. So whatever you want to work on will be in this area only in the future, most of it, right? So just an insight for you, what is happening in the world in 1 minute on the internet. Just look at that. These numbers are staggering. So just by the time we finish this webinar, over 50 million search queries would have been done on Google. And already by the time I finish this slide, 1.3 million people would have logged on to Facebook. And if you see all these things, half of these, no, 90% of these companies were not even existing in 2000. Only, if you see that way, Google and Amazon, these are the only two companies which were there before 2000. The rest, every company you see here was started after 2005. So the way new companies are taking over with the latest tools, latest technologies, which are solving people's problems, it is crazy. Okay, so you need to understand the magnitude of how fast world is changing, so that you are, making yourself self-capable to ride the wave of technological revolutions. So since so many people are actually connected to the internet, right? So a lot of data is being produced. If you see, an average internet user produces 1.5 GB of data traffic per day. Right, so basically every one of you, if there are 80 people, right, so over 160 GB of data we are like producing collectively, right, per day. And if you see connected airplanes, other than the takeoff and landing part, most of the flight is done autonomously. So there's even the pilots are not required. Half the times you read in the newspaper, right, the pilot was sleeping while the journey was happening, right? So this is how connected airplanes also work. Cloud video providers, 750 petabytes of video petabyte of data is consumed per day, because we are now watching on Amazon, Netflix, we have Indian players, Hotstar, Z Live or whatever. So everything we are consuming online. Self-driving cars, I don't know how many of you have experienced it. We were working on connected trucks and not in self-driving cars, but connected trucks. So there is a lot of innovation happening here. If you see Tesla and Google, they are in the forefront on this technology. And already Google's self-driving cars have clocked even million miles of traveling without driver's intervention. So that is how fast the self-driving technology is growing. But again, it will take a lot more time for us to get it here in India, because we don't have the infrastructure here. But 4 terabytes of data is generated per day. Connected factory, again, a lot of data. Smart hospitals, because in hospitals, we need information as fast as possible to diagnose the patients and to save their lives. If we miss an information, or if we get some wrong information, if there is a delay, the patient's life is in danger. So technology will be influencing the hospitals a lot in the coming years. And the data is being collected every single day and analyzed, and relevant updates are being made, so that people can diagnose diseases even before actual doctor is present. And already there are a lot of technologies where the computers are giving better, prediction of what kind of illness it is compared to actual doctors in, less than 1/10 of the time. So this is how it is impacting smart hospital systems as well. So this graph basically shows the data growth. So in the previous slides, you saw how we are using technology and how we are producing data, right? So in this slide, you will know clearly that the data growth has been exponential almost. because 90% of the world's data was generated in the last 2 years only, because everything is getting connected to the internet right now. Okay, everything, whatever you can think of, your apps are tracking you every single second. If your location is on, your Google Maps can tell you the whole history where you went, right? If you use Uber, Ola, whatever, to transport yourself from one place to another, it is tracking you second by second, right? It is tracking you, the driver, the traffic, everything. So every data is being captured, and it is only going to, double, triple, quadruple in the coming years. Okay, and that is why, you would have heard of data science as the coolest thing in the planet right now, because everyone wants to become a data scientist, because data is the new oil of the world. So the one who owns data, the company which owns data is the strongest company in the world. That is the way it is going to be. Not petrol, not food, nothing. It's all data. So now let us see how the new technologies will impact the old jobs which we have in the market. Okay, so in the next few decades, there are a lot of new old jobs that will disappear. Okay, and I'll tell you why and which are those jobs. First thing is drivers. You might be thinking, why will driver lose jobs? So if you had listened to me earlier, there's autonomous vehicles coming in, right? So any company would want to provide a service to the customer at the lowest price. So if the driver is not there in the car, they don't have to pay his salary. If the salary is less, it is cheaper for us to travel, okay? And the businesses make more money. So technology will be used extensively to build autonomous vehicles, connected vehicles, so that, and it will impact drivers' jobs. Farmers, again, farmer cannot be in the farmland all the time, right? So what if you have sensors or actuators and things like that connected to the internet, which is Internet of Things, to actually sense the minerals, provide accurate information about the soil, and give water and dispense it at regular intervals. Why is the farmer needed? So if big companies take over farmlands, what will happen? So they will make it automated, the whole process. And also new technologies like vertical farming and all this coming up, which will make it easier for people to grow crops in a building which is 16, 20 stories, right? So these kind of jobs again will disappear. I mean, not everywhere, most of these, because the big companies will take over this. And printing press workers, again, like if you're not buying newspapers, who will work in printing that, right? So cashiers, again, we are using our phone pay, Google Pay, internet banking, credit cards. So where will we go and transact with cashiers? Travel agents. I think most of the students right now, if you are booking something, you will book yourself, right? No one goes to a stall nearby and asks the travel agent to book a ticket for you, correct? You just download an app, you choose where to go, and you book. It's as simple as that, and you can cancel it anytime you want. Manufacturing workers. Again, wherever humans are there, companies see it as costs. So a robot can work faster and more efficiently and work 24/7. So that is where robots will take over a lot of manufacturing workers' jobs. Delivery workers. Right now, because of the Swiggy, Ola, Dunzo, all these apps where we are getting instant delivery, there are a lot of new jobs coming up for delivery boys, right? But again, this will be also going off in the next 2 to 3 decades, because drone technology will come up. Okay, again, robots can transfer, Amazon is already working with drone technology, Domino's in the US, right? The pizzas are delivered through drones to people, okay, and it is faster, cheaper for the company to do it. And also good for global warming, right? If a delivery boy is coming, he's burning fossil fuel, which is bad for environment. So drone technology, again, will save a lot of carbon emission. So again, next, coming to waiters and bartenders, we have vending machines these days. Whatever we want, we can just do it. And in India, it's not predominantly used. But for example, when I was living in Japan, every 100 meters I walk, there's a vending machine. I don't need anything. I put money, I get whatever I want. Coffee, pizza, tea, whatever. Right? It's that kind of impact. Bank tellers. I mean, if we don't go to banks, why are bank tellers needed? Correct? Military pilots, again, we are sacrificing our soldiers in the borders but we do have technology there as well. Okay, if you just Google latest military technology, you will see that you can sit at home and kill someone even without doing anything. Okay, that kind of technology is already existing, and they are working with that in US. So fast food workers, again, even robotics is intruding the food delivery business and food production business. So if you see, if you go over to the McDonald's back end, right, where they prepare food, half of the things are done by machines. A person just puts the burger in place. That's it. Half of it is already gone. So if those machines were not there, there'll be like 4 times or 5 times more workers needed in preparing the fast food. Telemarketer, again, some of you guys might be still getting calls. Okay, we are from insurance company and please buy this product and things like that. But what is impacting here? Digital marketing. So when we go to social media, we see ads, right? Sometimes we talk about something and we see that ad. Okay, so user behavior is being tracked on social media, and we are getting offers even without interacting with human beings. And it's so easy. We just, okay, I got 1,000 rupees discount, let me buy, go check out. And you got your product, and no one had to sit and convince you to buy the product. So those jobs are also going off. Accounts and tax preparing, again here, any job which is monotonous can be automated easily with technology. Stock traders, this is one big area where people make money investing in stock markets. But again, if you go to the US, New York Stock Exchange, people have built bots which can buy stock even faster and make more money than humans. Construction workers, again, 3D printing technology will come into place here. If you want, standard size houses, 3D printing technology can build those houses faster than you think. Okay, like the average time taken to build a 3D printed house or a room is 10 days. So like 1 month, your whole house is ready if you want a standard structure. And last but not the least, don't get scared. Actors is only because the advent of animation, right? So right now, if you see how many animated movies you watch in a year, and even if the movie is not animated, right, half of it is VFX. Okay, so the importance of highly skilled technical people is more important in filmmaking than actors technically. So if you see Avengers, okay, all the Avengers star casts, the screen time they have, the amount of time you see their face on the screen would hardly be like 20 or 30 minutes in the whole 2-hour movie, right? And they're being paid in millions. Okay, but we have technology which can actually scan their body, and even after Robert Downey Jr. dies tomorrow, we will still have an Iron Man. So it's as simple as that. And also the other side is animated movies are going to take over more and more people. Like in your class itself, if someone is interested in script writing, someone wants to talk or act, and there are animators, so you can make a movie right now and learn how to market it digitally, and you can start a production house on your own. It's that easy. So again, that will impact actors' jobs. But not in India, don't worry. Indian actors are safe. Okay, so new opportunities for you. So we talked about the things which are bad, which the jobs are going out of the market. Let us talk about things which are going to come up in the future. So when AI and automation will take over completely, there are a lot of new jobs that will come up. Okay, and that will be the areas where you guys have to focus on. Robot manufacturing and service management. So just imagine, we want things to happen fast, right? So we want robots. That is the best solution. So to build robots and service those robots, we need people. So that is where jobs will come up. Raw material management. Because population is increasing, we need to manage our resources very well. So this is going to be a big area where a lot of new jobs will come up. How to get raw material, how to manage it, how to produce it, how to store it. All these things will be the next set of things which people will have to work on. Big data and AI scientists, as I told you earlier, data is growing. We need people who can get insights from those data and actually make the businesses profitable, save costs, save businesses a lot of losses, these kind of things by predicting the future. So this is where AI and data scientists will come into picture. Artificial bodies manufacturer, again, this is coming into the medical side of it. So people are working on technology to build artificial limbs and things like that. Okay, so that is where you can go. Esports. Some of the students who are not interested in studying might be interested in esports, but don't get too excited. Only, out of 100 people who play, one person gets the money. Rest of them are just wasting their time. So, but there is a good future in esports if you're really good at some games, right? So, like, people are organizing large-scale events right now, and it is just booming right now. And you can, make it a career as well if you want. So it depends. Again, you need to be the best over there. Psychologist and therapist, this is definitely the booming market because of social media. A lot of people have different views of life. People don't understand life. They're blinded by the social media, things like that, and they're actually getting depressed more and more because of seeing this fake digital world. So a lot of people will need psychologists and therapists to help them overcome this depression and things like that. So these jobs will go up. Okay, gene designer babies, again, when technology grows, more and more people will want something specific to them. So this is the area where new jobs again will come up. So virtual world designer, this is again if you see the virtual world, the VR goggles you would have tried, right? So this is the area where there are new jobs which are coming up. You build virtual worlds for civil engineering, even in automotive engineering, to diagnose things and other things like that. So there is a lot of new jobs there which is coming up. So cybersecurity, if all our data is there in the cloud or anywhere, we need to secure the data. So a lot of new jobs there as well. Entertainment. So if we are optimizing everything in the world, what happens next? People have more and more free time. So what do they need? Entertainment. So if you are into game development or apps that can entertain people, so this is an area where you can focus on. Real estate, again, because population is growing, there is a large scope for growth in real estate. And tech engineers, biochemistry, these last few things is basically there for you to understand that there are some jobs which will never be automated, but there are most cases, if you really want to have a high paying long career, you need to be the best or in the top 10% of the profession. Okay, if you are a data scientist, be the best, then you will earn. There is no longer the term average. Okay, everyone can become a software engineer, but what next? It's the same as becoming a doctor. An MBBS degree is no longer enough. You need to become an MD, specialization, super specialization. That is how it is even with IT. You need to get skills in specific niche segments where you are the best. Only then you'll get to thrive in the market. So among all these slides, if you have any questions, please feel free to comment in the comment box if you have questions, and I'll be taking those questions in the end. Okay. And I'll not get into details of this because it's a lot. Just go through it. If you have any questions, I'll give you 1 or 2 minutes to go through this. And then let me know in the comments box if you have any questions. So these are the top 30 technologies of the next decade. So you guys being from computer science and electronics, the areas which might sound interesting for you is definitely IoT, AI, big data, okay, cloud computing, cybersecurity, okay, 3D printing. These are all the areas where I think you can start your career with. And smart cities as well. So if you want to get into research kind of areas in electronics, new materials, so you can get into advanced materials to build next generation hardware and things like that. So I guess some people are asking questions. I cannot see it right now. In the end, there will be a question and answer round, and I'll be addressing all your questions in the last segment. So I guess I can move on, right? If you want, I can just come back to the slide in the question and answer section. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. So now you understood till now how technology is impacting all industries. But the next question is, how can you plan your career to get new opportunities, right? That is a big question. So to become a professional, what you need? You're a student and you're going to become a professional. You just need skills. That's it. It can be tech skills, soft skills. That's it. Skills, skills, skills. That is the need of the hour. Learn the right skills. You can excel in anything. If you don't have the right skills, no matter how hard you try, try corruption, try this, anything, that will not work. You need skills. Okay. So where do students go wrong? Okay, after you graduate, you have three choices, most of them. Okay, other than not doing anything, you have three choices. That is further education. Okay, you might do an MS, MBA, something like that, or you might get into a job, or you can start your own company if you're very adventurous, right? But again, when you are doing these things, there are certain clouds of doubt which emerge for students, and that is what is causing the wrong decisions in students' life. So first thing is lack of clarity. So having half knowledge is always dangerous. Okay. Many people, like for example, even right now, I mean, whatever I'm talking is just surface level stuff. If you get into the depths of technology, if most of you guys would be thinking, okay, I will become a software engineer, but do you know what a software engineer does? How many of you know? Think about it, right? And some people would know one step next, which is testing. Other than that, IT is so big. There are thousands of different kinds of jobs. There is sales also, operations also, analysts also. Okay, there is a lot of things which you can do inside IT, which people don't know. And students mostly take decisions with half knowledge. That is one of the problems. Pressure. Again, you might have family pressure, social pressure, financial pressure to get a job. Hurry up, do it. Your friend has done it. Your cousin has done it. This pressure is there, and this will make you take the wrong jobs and start your career in the wrong direction. Again, lack of information. So whatever is available to you is from your friends and family, right? Would you go and ask a non-swimmer how to swim? No, right? So would you ask someone who has not done the job you want to do to give you advice on how to build that career? Again, the answer should be an obvious no, right? So you should ask the right person who has been there, done that, for advice, not people who have not done that. So wrong understanding of work life. So some people think, okay, work life means you just go there, sit in the office in a fancy cabin, get all the benefits there. But again, if you get into the wrong jobs, you will suffer. It's as simple as that. If you don't like the thing which you do, you will suffer. What is happening, even if I give my personal experience, there are a lot of my friends, okay, again, we all started careers together, and they didn't like IT at all. But again, IT has a lot of jobs. It has a lot of money. So they had to get in there because everyone was getting into IT. And 3 years, they all quit. And what they're doing now is becoming yoga teacher, dance teacher, and anything, whatever they want. And they're making good money even in that. So it doesn't mean you only have to go to emerging tech. Okay, you need to be good at what you're doing, but you have to use technology, because even if you become a yoga teacher, how do you get the audience? Social media, digital marketing. Okay, you should know how to use technology to actually conduct the classes. This is something which you have to learn. Again, perceived success. Okay, some people think, okay, I get a 20 lakh package. That's a great thing. Okay, and 1 crore Facebook offers one student, and you think, oh, it's awesome. But again, it's half a baked story which you hear. Okay, if Facebook is offering 1 crore salary, most of the times it is in the US, and in the US it's a standard salary for most people. Okay, and in that, 40% goes in taxes, and 20% is in stock options, which they will get over the period of 5 years. Okay, so all these things, in the end, they will get an average mediocre salary for US. And people who are here will think, oh wow, he got 1 crore and he's so young. But again, is it actually success, or I don't know, you need to think about it, right? So these are the areas where you need to focus on. So how can you plan a good career? Right. First thing is you need to know. This is a Japanese concept called ikigai. Okay, it means reason for being. So you should always do something what you love, what you are good at, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs. This whole thing is an integration of your passion, mission, profession, and vocation, and that is called ikigai. So people who actually do this will have a successful, meaningful life. Okay, and it sounds spiritual, philosophical for most people, but again, if you don't understand it today, after 3 years in the market, you will understand this. So that time you can Google ikigai again and then think about restarting your career, because this is what happens most of the times. Because most students think, okay, what is this nonsense? But yeah, this is what is needed. The faster you learn, the more happier you'll be and more successful you'll be. Okay, let me give an example here. Sundar Pichai, everyone knows Sundar Pichai, right? He is the CEO of Google. Okay, so what is he doing now? He loved technology. And like if you see his previous interviews, he talks about how he used to open up the telephone, understand how things work and all that, right? And then what did he do? I mean, he actually was a material science engineer from IIT Kharagpur, and also he did a master's in metallurgical sciences, but he went into IT. Okay. How? He went into consulting, he learned about IT and technology, and then if you see, he loved technology, he became good at technology, then he's in an area where people are highly paid, which is again technology. And what world needs? We need innovative products, right? Google builds those products and he's enabling in the building of those products. So don't you think is this successful life? In a way, but again, it doesn't mean you need to be a CEO of a company to be happy and successful. Let's take non-technical guy, Sachin Tendulkar. He loved cricket. He didn't study anything. He practiced cricket since teenager and became good at it. And he became so good that he's the top cricketer and he got highly paid for various reasons. And world needs cricketers. Like we need sportsmen for entertainment, inspiration, motivation, right? So this is where the gap is in what students think about what to do with their life. So important thing for you is to reflect on what you love, what you are good at, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs. And then you will have your ikigai and you will have a long-term successful, happy career. Again, the point here is don't compare, because if you compare with others, you'll never be satisfied. You need to be happy with what you're doing. So find your ikigai. Strengths and weaknesses, what I like doing, what I'm good at, what are my best qualities, what are my strengths and skills. These are the things you need to self-analyze. And weaknesses, what I dislike doing, what am I not good at, what qualities do I lack, what skills do I lack. So this once you do a self-analysis of these things, you'll actually find out where you need to improve so that you can build a career. So important thing is, okay, assuming someone wants to become let's go to this side and we'll come back to that. So for a long-term career, these are the areas you need to focus on, right? It's automation, because everything needs to be automated. That's the fastest way to achieve things. Big data and data science, and building of any new technology, okay? Cybersecurity, IoT, cloud computing, and application of technology. So these are the areas where actually you can build a long-term career. Now coming back to the previous slide, which is assuming some of you might think, oh, I want to become a data scientist. Okay, it's a cool job, people tell. Okay, and data science graduates or people who will work in data science earn more than normal computer science engineers. This is what you hear all the time. But what does a data scientist do? That is what you need to know first. Okay, so for example, if a person who doesn't like math, statistics, right? If you get into data science profession, you would really be really bad in the job and you will never grow. This is the reality. you need to be good at it. Even if you take a career which is not in the emerging sector, but if you're extremely good at it, you will build an amazing long-term career. But don't go for these high-tech careers where you cannot actually be happy or where you cannot contribute. Because in the end, why do companies hire you? They have problems and you go there to solve their problems. The bigger the size of the problem you solve, the more the money they pay. It's as simple as that. So if you're naturally good at something, do that. That is what will help you, and it will not even look like work for you. You will just be enjoying life and you'll be getting paid for that enjoyment, right? So this is what you have to think of. Okay, and just for reference for people who, because you are all from CS and EC, these are some of the areas where there are a lot of jobs coming up, and every area you see here, there are a lot, in lakhs of jobs coming up, but you need to have the skills for that. If you don't learn the skills, it's all nearly impossible to get a job. But if you learn, you have a long-term career path set for you for the next decade. So I would just want you to go through this, and if you have any questions regarding this as well, please put it in the comment section and I'll address that in a while. So just a bit insight, if you see the robotic process automation, many of you might not have heard of it. Okay, this needs average level coding skills, but this is something where new jobs are coming up. Okay, you don't have to be a hardcore coder to get into robotic process automation. Again, people who don't want to code can get into digital marketing, even cyber security, even AR, VR. If you're good at designing animation, you can get into AR, VR. There's augmented reality, virtual reality, even game development and things like that. So, and if you're very much interested in the hardware side, the guys who are in electronics, you can get into IoT, where you work with sensors, hardware coding and things like that. Even again AR, VR, because you have to have physical stuff interacting with the digital stuff. So that is one area where you guys can enter. Okay, so with this, I'll be moving to the next slide. Many of you might be confused what career might suit me. So we just have a small game for you. You can go to skilletwill.com. There is a career prediction quiz. Take 12 questions, answer it, and you will get an idea of what kind of career will suit you. Okay, so all the emerging tech careers are there. And based on your answers, we will predict. It doesn't mean you will have to do that, but again, you will get an idea for your aptitude, for your personality, what kind of career can suit you. It's a fun game. You can just take it out if you want it. This is designed for people who just want a slight push towards understanding what career will suit them. So we'll send you the link through your coordinators soon to take the quiz and see how it goes. So in the beginning, we asked a few questions or misconceptions, which I told I'll be clearing it in the end. So this is what it is. I will get a job because I'm an engineer by degree. So don't think that this will happen, because 50 to 80% of the engineers are not employable right now. Why? Because again, they don't have the skills which are needed by the companies. Okay, that is why you see this always government debating about engineering selling pakodas, peons jobs. I mean, in Patna, if you see, there are like 50,000 engineers applied for a peon's job. Okay, so I'm not telling that all engineers are the same. Again, your college is good, so you have a standard is better. But still, most cases, engineers are not employable. I don't have good marks and grades. I won't get a good job. Again, this is a misconception. Students without degrees can get into Google, Tesla, Amazon, such big companies, because there is no correlation between your marks and how good you can perform at work. Okay, in India, we will still see marks only because there are too many people and we need a criteria to shortlist candidates. But if you go outside already, They will not even see your grades to call you for interview. Because in India, if we call for a job, there will be 2,000 people. We cannot sit and interview 2,000 people, right? So they will see your marks to filter out. But again, if you have the skills, still you can get a good job. But you need to prove it. You will have a longer route to take. So if you are in a different field, you cannot enter IT. Again, you can enter any field you want at any point you want. All you need is few months of additional training in that particular area, upskilling, get some internship experience, okay, do some projects, build your own stuff. That's it. You can start your new career in 6 months. I don't have background or work experience in tech. I can't change my career now. And this is for people, I mean, there are people who are already experienced like 3-4 years and they are thinking of changing. Again, if you see, even in IT, a data scientist has to learn 2 hours a day, every day, to actually be able to do his job. Okay. And if someone is into coding and if he or she takes a 1-year break, it's literally like a fresh start for them, because technology changes every 2-3 years. And if they don't learn the new frameworks, new tools, okay, again, it's of no use. The previous experience is of no use to them. So in that way, if you see, anyone can learn the latest skills and technologies to actually start their career. So I hope these answers are clear. So in the end, since Christ College has given us this great opportunity and invited us to do this webinar, we want to help some of you students who are actually passionate about building a long-term career. So if you want to know how to build a long-term career, get a high-paying job, or you're totally confused about what to do with life and want to explore your options, we can support you with giving a free career counseling or CV tailoring. Okay, and for that you can register with us anytime you want. Okay, for that please visit our site skilletwill.com. Okay, and there is an inquiry field at the top right, the button. Just click that, fill up the form, and our counseling team will get in touch with you to arrange a separate session where we will be helping you with your career queries. And if you are applying for jobs now, again, CV tailoring is something very important, because if you cannot show that you're awesome on your CV, no one will look at your CV. Okay, you might have done so many things, but it is the presentation that matters, the way you convey it to the recruiters that matters. So these things we can help you with because of our association with Christ College. So now let us finally come to the question and answer round. I'll be coming back to the main screen. So if there are any questions, I'll be addressing it right now. Okay.
So students, kindly switch on your microphone and ask your queries.
Okay, there are some questions on the chat box. I'll be addressing that first. Yeah.
So should I read it for you?
Yeah, sure. Thanks a lot.
So Krishna Prasad Chaitanya has asked, the current methods of interviewing are limited in many ways, as managers have to judge a person based on their subjective knowledge. So do you think technologies such as AI and brain-computer interfacing would completely change the interviewing process of companies?
Okay, that's a great question, Krishna Prasad. Frankly speaking, we are also working on some of the technologies which will cut down the process of interviewing and help recruiters get the right candidate. Because while talking about CV tailoring as well, I was telling you, right, in India we see grades only because there are so many people. If there was a more efficient way of assessing the people's skills, then no one would see grades. Okay, so when you're talking about AI and brain computing, this is going to take a lot of time. Okay, so these technologies will not be coming into recruitment anytime soon, but there are other ways. So I was associated with a company in Hong Kong, and they are actually building AI for interviewing. So technically you will sit and interview with a bot, okay, and the camera will analyze your expressions, your body language, your answers, and give a report. And what the recruiters will do is just see the report. Okay, Krishna Prasad is very good at communicating. His actions show leadership, team skills, and all that. So it will assess you end to end, and actually it will help the recruiters assess people faster. because on your CV you might tell I'm dynamic and all that, but technically are you, is the question, right? Only with the real interaction people can assess, right? So those kind of technologies are already penetrating the market, and there are a lot of HR tech startups which are working on cutting down the loopholes of interviewing. So there'll be a lot of things happening there. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. If you need something else, you can please feel free to ask Krishna Prasad.
Thank you, sir. So we'll move on to the next question.
Yeah.
So Albert Davis has asked, what are the challenges faced by engineers in our country to pursue careers in big manufacturing sectors like 3D manufacturing industries, which has been dominated by countries like Japan?
Okay. So, frankly speaking, one thing I would let you know, okay, Japan is somewhere in the top in manufacturing only because they adopted to the technologies of 70s and 80s. They are very, very good at product and process innovation, okay, but they're not good at radical innovation, okay. Process and product, what happens is it's incremental, okay. They will know how to build a better car faster, cheaper, like that. That's incremental. Okay, but again, Japan is in a bad state right now because they don't have people who are very good at radical innovations. Okay, so if you see this right now, I mean, I was there in Japan because Japanese cannot actually do radical innovations because they are very stuck to the old processes. Okay, and their innovation in process and product stopped a while back, and now they're getting people from outside to actually innovate within the country. Okay, and coming to your question of 3D manufacturing and all that, again, US is in the forefront in that. Okay, US and Europe, they are building the 3D printing technology a lot. Okay, and Japan is also doing it, but in India, mostly, I mean, we are still very much behind in 3D printing and all that. But the advantage India has is we jump a whole layer of technology. Like, for example, everywhere in the world, we started with desktops, laptops, and mobile. Okay. In India, most of us, especially if you go to the tier 2, tier 3 cities, no one would have seen a desktop computer or a laptop computer, but they are using mobile directly, right? We skipped in India a generation of technologies directly. So as an engineer, okay, if you want to pursue careers in manufacturing sector, either you need to go with innovative companies from outside which are building their capacities in India. Like, for example, Tesla is trying to come into India. Okay, Hyperloop is being built in India. So if you join these kind of manufacturing firms, you can actually have a good career there. Okay, because the number of opportunities in manufacturing is not going to be too much unless government invests a lot in the whole sector. So this is what it is.
Okay, thank you, sir. So he has asked one more question, that is there any government initiatives that we can take advantage regarding career opportunities in the future?
Is it?
Yeah,
No, I think there's a question on Trump. Okay, before that.
Yeah. He has told that recently has watched a video on President Trump and the US Army having some issues with China regarding the COVID-19, giving India a geopolitical advantage in attracting different American corporate firms from China. So what are the government initiatives that we can take advantage of regarding career opportunities in the future?
Okay. So if you want to become an employee, then there are not much things you can do. But if you want to start up and become an employer, okay, start your own company, start your own product, okay, start on your own service, then there are lots of opportunities, because especially in farming, okay, like agriculture sector, okay, and in security and education, these are the areas where government is giving a lot of incentive schemes, even manufacturing for that matter. Okay, if you come up with new products which are really good, and government will give you the land and all that to actually set up the manufacturing plant and stuff like that. I mean, now since COVID has hit, If Indian companies are actually at the forefront because we have large manufacturing capacities for all these vaccines. So even if the vaccine is discovered outside, the manufacturing will be coming to India because it's cheaper and more efficient. So to answer your question in short, if you want to become an employer, build a product, okay, build a service, there are a lot of opportunities you can take, from the government.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to next question. Lakshmi ABS asks, is the significance of human capital changing due to the ongoing fourth technological revolution of Industry 4.0?
Yeah. Okay, that's a good question, Lakshmi. So here, what I would say is things are changing in a way which you will never see again. Okay, so already what we used to do is we used to go and sit and work in the office. Okay, but there were certain people who would be just a contract employee, no full-time employment. They would be traveling and working. Okay, so that is called work 2.0. Imagine, like, why would a company want to have 1 lakh people in their payroll? They don't want to pay so many salaries. Okay, it's a fixed cost. They have to pay their insurance and all that. So what will happen in the future is, especially because if you're into coding, you can sit and code anywhere you want, right? There'll be project managers who will manage your work and you can code anywhere you want. So you can be a freelance coder, okay, contract worker. You don't have to actually sit in Bangalore and work in Bangalore startup. You can sit anywhere you want, go to Sri Lankan beach and sit and code there. Okay, that is how it will change. So you can work anywhere you want, whatever time you want. That flexibility will come in. But again, you need to be really good at, first thing is the hard skills of what you're trying to do, and this, the employability skills which is needed for you to, network, collaborate, and work with the company which is going to pay you. So that is how the fourth technological revolution is going to change your working styles. It's called work 2.0.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So now moving on to next question. Sandra Baladias asks, sir, could you tell us about the robotic process automation and career possibilities?
Okay. So a robotic process automation is a career where, just imagine this. When I say robotic process automation, don't think about robots. It's not about physical robots doing stuff. So as the name suggests, okay, there are some processes where we use bots to automate it. So it's called robotic process automation. So here, just imagine one of the application of robotic process automation, I'll tell you. You have Flipkart. Okay, you go to Flipkart, there are a lot of products, a lot of prices and stuff like that. Okay, so someone updates it and we need to check it. So people have new tools called UiPath and all that, Blue Prism. So if you learn these tools, you will be able to automate the self-checking and stuff like that, which will save a lot of time. So what a person would sit and do for days, you can automate it using these new robotic process automation technologies to do it in minutes. For that, you need to have a good strategy, good planning, and you need to know how to build the logic. So this is what a robotic process automation developer does. So it's like minor coding, and you are basically a developer in that case.
Thank you, sir. Sona Davis has asked, sir, could you please give some tips for how to stay updated on the most recent technology trends and its development?
Okay, so first thing is subscribe to platforms which can give you that news. Okay, one is, of course, you can subscribe to SkillNet. So we have a lot of blogs on latest technologies. If you follow our social media, that is SkillNet official in Instagram or Facebook, we keep posting the various tools in various domains. So you can get updated with that. And also, you have all the power in your phone and your hands, right? Just search what is the latest technology. You'll get thousands of results. Click, click, click. Whatever you find relevant, keep it. Bookmark it, read it. Again, subscribe to technological news. If you have news apps, show that your interest is technology. Okay, instead of following actors and getting celebrity gossips, make technology as your preference. Then you will get all the information. So it's not difficult to search anything right now. So to start with, if you want, you can follow us on our social media. You'll get most of the basic stuff needed for your next step. That is SkillNet official on Instagram and Facebook.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Surely we'll follow your site. So now we'll move to the next question. Sneha Maria Vincent has asked a question. So AI is a wide area. As a fresher, if I want to start career in AI, what are the skills that I should acquire with respect to industry point of view?
Okay. So whenever we talk about these big technologies, right? Don't start here. You need to start with the foundation. Okay. The foundation for AI and machine learning is basically you need to know how to code in Python. Okay. So many people will tell, oh, you become an AI engineer. No, it doesn't happen like that. First thing is you need to learn how to code in Python, work in that for 2-3 years, and then get the frameworks which are used for machine learning and AI, get that knowledge, and then you become a machine learning or AI engineer. So as a fresher, focus on Python. And the reason I'm talking about Python is because Python has all the libraries and frameworks which will support AI. Okay, if you learn any other languages, there is no community which is building the frameworks for machine learning. So Python already has all the community. So most companies are switching for Python language to actually build their machine learning algorithms. So
Okay,
yeah,
sir.
that's
Okay, we'll move to the next question. Catherine Joji has asked, initially you said that you were working to eradicate unemployment from India. I would like to ask you how successful you are in that mission.
So that is a very good question. So first of all, in India, everything is very tough. Okay, like for example, I'll tell you right now. If I'm talking about this, like the kind of students we meet is people who want jobs without working. They don't want to learn and get high-paying careers. They think by doing certification they will get 10 lakh rupees package. All these things are there. Okay, so getting motivated, focused students is only a big thing, first of all. So we started this company around in 2018 mid, okay, and we were actually experimenting to understand the consumer behavior. Okay, we were starting to understand how students think, because if we talk about growth and all that, I mean, are you really interested? Most of the students will be like, oh, I want package, I want to go to US, I want to study here, I want to enjoy. This is what happens, right? So only people who are in the market for 2 years, they will be like, oh yeah, now I need to do. So my counterparts are always telling, like, who are of my age group, if something like this was there when we were growing up, it is awesome. But again, at that time, the frame of mind is different. So what we have done is at SkillNet, we have opened up a platform where we connect the trainers and training institutes of, like in Bangalore, who give these emerging tech courses. Okay, and students like you, if you are motivated enough to learn and upskill yourself, you can just compare from these courses and take it up, and we help you get a job. So we cannot tell that we will solve unemployment. We are talking about unemployability. Unemployability means people are there with skills which are not required in the market, so they are unemployable. So if you see in the emerging tech sector, there are a lot of jobs with a lot of pays and all that, where the skills required is different. But as a graduate, you don't have those skills, so you are unemployable. So if you learn the next generation skills, you become employable. So successful mission, I mean, it will take easily 5 to 10 years to actually call it successful, or even more, because at that stage, again, there'll be new technologies coming in. Again, whatever you guys learn in next 10 years, that will become obsolete, and new skills are required. So this is a whole new cycle. Okay, it's completely like a cycle. New technologies come, new people need to learn new skills. You have to upskill, you need to reskill. This is why we have a Skill India mission, right? So even government is taking up that, and they're introducing NEP and all that. Why? Because whatever we learn has to be adapting towards the latest things. So yeah, that would be the answer. So success is, I mean, if we are influencing 1,000 students at a time, that is success for us right now.
Thank you, sir. Vinita has asked, startup failure stories are more than success stories. So very low percentage startups are successful in India. So if I want to establish a startup in AI or Industry 4.0 related technology, what should I do?
Yeah. Okay, that's a good question. So someone is very entrepreneurial here, which is good to know. So I would tell all the best, Vinita, if you want to start up. So to answer your question, yes, startups. I mean, the failures are a lot. So if you see in any sector, right, if 100 startups start in the second year, 90% fail. Okay, in the fifth year, 90% of the 10% fail. Okay, this is the trend. This is the actual reality. And if you want to be successful, first thing is you need to be persistent. You need to understand what the consumer needs and give a product which he will use. Because in the end, you as a startup will make money only if someone uses your product or a service. If they use it, you will never make money. Even if they use it for free, you can come up with business models to actually make money in the future. So coming more into the AI part of it, first thing is you need to first focus on which sector you are targeting. Okay, AI can be implemented everywhere. Hospitals, hospitality, which is restaurant business and all that, aviation, okay, even grocery business or large scale factory implementation, civil engineering, everywhere AI can be implemented. What you need to know is first which domain you want to choose, what is the problem you can solve through AI, and then you should go for it. So first thing is identify the problem of any industry, and only then you think about starting a startup, because in the end what a startup does is solve a problem.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, yes, Vinita.
So I have one more question. Like, before starting a startup, like, should I work under someone initially to understand it better, or if I'm that sure of it, can I just go with the startup then and there?
There is no right answer for this, because some people it clicks without experience, some people it doesn't click without experience. But again, experience always helps you to be better prepared. Okay, so one of the best ways I can explain this is if you work for some other company, right? What will happen? You make mistakes and learn from that failure. Okay, if you are working on your company and if you make mistakes, you will lose a lot, because a lot is at stake. Okay, make mistakes in other companies and then build your own company. That is what I can do it. That's the easiest way.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Elena.
Okay, with this, we have come to the end of the question and answer session. So thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful session. And on behalf of the management, I thank you for joining us and giving us such an insightful session.